You know how I've been using this phrase, this is not a rehearsal, this is the real thing. And I've used it so much in a sense that it's become a meme. Well, it's also beautifully accurate to describe what it is that is going on right now in all aspects in the lead up to this November of 2020 election. Our suspicions about the improper purging of voter rolls in Georgia have been confirmed as we have now received news that, yes, the state of Georgia removed nearly 200,000 people from the voter rolls by wrongly concluding that they either moved and didn't update their voter registration or for other reasons no longer needed to be on the active voter list. This is exactly what we believed was going on in Georgia. This is exactly what we believe is now going on in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Notice these are all important states. It's not happening in Idaho, which is going to go to Trump for sure. It's not happening in Massachusetts, which is going to go to Biden for sure, at least not to this degree. The ACLU of Georgia put out a report about this, and it has indeed concluded that this purge was not proper, and it was a way to just pull people off of the voter rolls. Now, the Georgia Secretary of State has said that the removals were no such purge. Everything is fine. This was just routine maintenance on voting lists. And what they claim they did was simply remove inactive voters, because this is a provision that the state has where on some period, some rolling basis, they go through and apply a logic for what is now an inactive voter. Now, what deemed someone an inactive voter? If they hadn't voted for 3 years, if they had not voted in 2 general elections and haven't had contact with the Board of Elections during that time, and if that situation lasted for at least 3 years. That is a very low bar to deem someone as inactive. 2 election cycles where you might not vote really is not a sign that you should be removed from the voter rolls. This is really the wrong conversation because in many countries, this entire concept of being registered to vote is a lunatic concept. Registered to vote, you're a citizen and you can vote and you don't need any pre-registration. This is not a restaurant reservation where, listen, not everybody goes to eat at a restaurant. So if you want a table, you've got to call ahead. This is voting, my friends. And about 313,000 voters in total were removed. That's about 4% of the voters in Georgia. And before, at some interim period, 22,000 were re-added to the voter rolls through December of 2021 because of a lawsuit. But again, this is just a fraction of the total voters that are removed. Now, you might also remember that Brian Kemp was Secretary of State of Georgia when this was done. And he was also running for governor, which he ultimately won by only 54,000 votes against Stacey Abrams. So you don't have to look too far to find red flags in this election. The guy saying we should pull hundreds of thousands of people off of the voter rolls. Not only was the guy running the election, but he was one of the people running in the election. So do not be surprised when this happens again across the country in November. And I wish I had some grand solution to this. Well, ACLU is going to try. Other voting groups are going to try. Greg Palast is working on this issue. But at this point, we've got 8 weeks to go. We have it is September 3rd. The election is on November 3rd. That's 61 days, I think, 30 in December. 30 in September gets us to October 3rd. And then 31 in October gets us to November. I think it's 61 days. We need to outnumber them in extreme numbers. Check if you are registered to vote. Figure out where you vote. Find out if there's early voting. Figure out how to request an absentee ballot. So we're in the description to this YouTube clip. We have resources at usa.gov for confirming your voter registration status with links to how to register if you have not yet done so. The deadlines in some states are coming up. And then we have vote.org polling place locator and absentee ballot requests. These are central websites, usa.gov and vote.org, which will direct you to how to obtain the information you need in your particular state. They're doing it. It's been confirmed that they've been doing it. They are going to do it. And later today, this is unbelievable. Donald Trump has now suggested that voters commit the felony of willingly trying to vote twice to test the system. I'll talk to you about that later, but chaos is the word that summarizes all of this. If you are anything like me, you probably aren't thrilled with the idea of going into a doctor's office right now. And thankfully, there's a practical and affordable way to take control of your health and get personalized care from the comfort of your home. It's a service called SteadyMD. They're one of our sponsors. You take a quiz, you get matched with a licensed primary care physician who understands your health needs. You have a 1-hour video call with your new doctor. You establish a meaningful relationship with them. And after that, your doctor is available to you anytime by text, phone, or video chat. This is not a random doctor on call. Each doctor at SteadyMD has a limited number of patients, so they actually have time to listen to you. You get the personal attention that you deserve. They can do almost everything an in-person doctor can do: perform medical evaluations, talk to you about health concerns, send prescriptions to your home or local pharmacy, and anything they can't do online, they'll quickly set you up with an in-person provider to do, things like blood tests, as an example. You don't need insurance. It's only $99 a month with no other fees or copays. There are so many practical advantages to using SteadyMD for primary care, and it's also so much more affordable. Go to steadymd.com/Pakman to take the free quiz, see which doctor is right for you. I took their quiz. They matched me with a doctor who specializes in my particular health needs and situation. The doctor they gave me is a really perfect fit for me and my medical needs. There's no risk, no commitment to get started. Just click the link right underneath this video.